Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Guys, then let's start our chapter 2. Now, what is chapter 2 going to talk about? What is in this? When I say chapter 2, it is about organizations. When I say it is going to be organizations, we have to understand that we need to first of all go through different type of organizations in Workday. And before that also, we need to understand what is an organization. When we talk about organizations, organization is a collection of different entities which helps you to run a business or enterprise or any system. It helps you in managing your finance, your people, and the service that you are going to give it to the customer. Right. All these actually make a complete organization. When I say organizations in Workday, basically there are three types of organization. But before I go there, just imagine that you are going to set up a business. When you are trying to set up a business, you need an idea, you need capital, right? All those things you have. Now it is the time to give it a physical start. The idea, you have the money that you need, you have all those things you require, you have. Now, in order to start it physically, what is the first thing that you would need? Place and people. Sorry, can you repeat that? Place and people. Place and people. Let's go serial wise, let's not go random. Yes, you need people for sure. But the first thing is you need a place. Now, in Workday terminology, when we talk about place, basically it is your location, right? That in which city, in which place you are going to start your first office. Why do you need a location or why do you need a place? Anybody? To register the business. Absolutely correct, guys. To register the business. Always remember, if you are planning to start any business, whether it is any shop, also you need a physical location. That this is going to be my shop or this is going to be my office or whatever it is. Imagine that you are starting up your own organization. The first thing you need is a location. And you need a location because you need to have an address. Correct. Once you have a valid address with you, then only you can register a company. If that office address that you are going to put, if it is on your name, that's wonderful. If it is not on your name, at least you have leased it. That also is fine. Any place where it belongs to you, whether you have leased it, whether you own it, it does not matter. But the address is in such a way that if someone is searching for you, they will find you at that place and you can be verified. This is very important for setting up our legal entity. All right. Now, as we discussed that we need to set up a legal entity, and this is a very important factor. The first thing you would need is location, right? Once you have a location, you got an address proof. Once you have an address, you will be able to register your company. Correct. Any questions on that? No question. Now that you have got a legal entity, you have registered your company, you will get a tax ID. You will get a tax filing ID from the government. And you would need certain clearances from the government to start the business. Now, what clearances you would need? That's not our headache. As a HCM consultant, I am not at all worried about it because there is a legal team who will take care of it. I will not even think about it. If we go ahead and make the necessary changes, then now you see that once those changes are made, now what is that change? You got your location, you got the address, you have registered your entity. Once you have registered your entity, you have got the tax ID and all the clearances have come. All the changes that are required has been completed. Now, once that changes have been completed, now is the time to set up different departments. Correct. Correct. If I have to set up different departments, what do you think would be the first department that you would need? Basically, we need support functions. We need the support functions first because I am going step by step. In order to set up anything, you would need the support function. Now, what is a support function? Any organization cannot operate without support. The first thing that you would need is support organization like finance, HR, admin team, workplace team, that they can help you set up the workplace and other things. Your IT team, all those things would be required. Now they all have their roles and responsibilities. And HR is important because without HR, you would not be able to form the hiring policies. You would not be able to hire good people, right? Now, second thing is your finance. Now, if your finance team is not there, then the money that you have, you will not be able to manage it. Although the scale of the company is small only. It is not that it is going to be a big company at the moment, but it is small. Now, at least one person is required. Now, that same person, if the organization is a small organization, right? The same person can be a finance consultant or finance guy also, and the HR guy also. That is also possible. But they have to perform both the activities parallelly, right? Second thing is you need somebody to manage your office, like your workplace or, your admin team. Those people are also required. Now, once you have those people ready, now you see you've got admin team, HR team, finance team. It may be just a small team. It does not matter. But these things are required. Then what is your business? As per that, you will hire people. Let's say I'm starting a consulting firm who gives services to the customers on Workday itself. If I have a good team, then only I'll be able to give the good services to the customers. And probably before I start the company, I should have at least one client that I can hire good people. And I have a cash flow coming from the client that I can maintain my organization also. Think in that perspective. Now you've got different departments. You've got our finance admin. And now you've got the actual revenue generating team. Let's say Workday consultants team, right? Now how many departments now we have? Marketing as well. We'll need it. 3 to 4 at least. No, I'm just giving you an arbitrary number just to give you an understanding. We may need a number of departments, but that will happen gradually. Uh, We've got at least 3 to 4 departments minimum. Now, once these 3 to 4 departments are there, that means you will start hiring people, correct? If you are hiring people, that means you will pay salary to them. Now, if you are paying the salary, that means you should have an entity which is actually taking care of your finance. Now, in Workday, there is a specific entity. Now, that specific entity is going to actually take care of your finance using cost center. Now, what is a cost center? In managing your finance, right? What I'm talking right now is all part of my predefined organization. Now, what is predefined? We will discuss that in detail. But let's say that we have now set up a company. Now in that company, I've got an address. I've got the company registered. I've got a legal tax ID operation clearances. And then I have hired people in different departments. HR, admin, finance. And then we are doing a Workday consulting business. We have, let's say 4 or 5 Workday consultants and a manager. All those things are there. Now, once you have all this and you started getting business, you need a cost center to manage the finance. Now you see, if you see your organization, you have only limited people, maybe 1 in finance, 1 in HR, 1 in admin, and 3, 4 in your revenue generating team. Now HR is not going to earn any revenue for you. Finance is not going to earn any revenue for you. Admin is not going to earn any revenue for you. You should have a team which is capable enough to earn a revenue in which they are also able to get their salary. And you are able to pay these people's salary as well. Now, how is that calculated? Based on your cost center. Each department is going to get a cost center number. And based on that, all the calculations are done. Whatever your expenses are, expenses like your salary, variable pay. Then you have your daily consumptions. Like if you keep an office, buy all those things. If you are ordering tea, coffee, all those things are snacks. All these things are your expenses. Now, how much you are earning? How much is the client paying? All those things are taken care through the cost center. Whatever your expenses are, whatever your revenue is, all those things are taken into account. And based on that, the finance team will go ahead and do the calculations as per the revenue they are receiving. Now suppose your organization has grown. Now you don't have 10 people or 15 people. Let's say it's gone to 100, 200 people. Now, accordingly, all these departments will have people. In finance, maybe you got 3 people working. In HR, you may have 10 people working. In your admin, you may have 2, 3 people working, right? Apart from that, other departments like your Workday, you may have many projects that you require 120 people, 180 people in that department itself, right? Out of that, 180 to 190 people are your revenue generating team. Rest 10 to 12 members are your support team. All these things are taken consideration while you set up a company. Now let's say you have opened another office. You are expanding, right? Now that location can be different. It may not be the same location, right? Based on that, if you have multiple offices in multiple locations, you need to categorize your offices into different regions, right? Initially, as I stated, Workday was built for big customers or big organizations, enterprise level organizations. It was always thought that product would be sold to those people who are big companies, but now they already have got Workday. Now they are focusing on small scale businesses. Then they have medium scale businesses. All those are now part of Workday. They are targeting everybody. It's not that anymore. But the structure was built in such a way that it was targeted to big organizations or enterprise level organizations. The structure has not changed, but the product is put in such a way that it can be used by any type of organizations. That is the reason why these kind of organizations are already inbuilt in the system. When I talk about organizations in Workday, there are three types of organizations: predefined, custom, and supervisory. Predefined organizations are those organizations which are already inbuilt in the system. I just have to use it as per my requirement. Because I may not scale, I may not expand. Region is not required, but location is required. Company is required. Concentral is required. I'll have to use at least these three things to start my organization. Now, let's say I have another type of organization which is custom. Now, when you acquire a company or you take over, then in that case, I may have to create a custom organization. We will talk that in detail when we go there. And then you see this supervisory organization. This is third type of organization, but that's the most important organization because 80 to 9% of the work that you do in any HCM, it revolves around this. And we also call this as department. Supervisory organization can be more like a department. We'll start our configuration with predefined. We'll then move into custom and then we'll go into supervisory. This is how we are going to learn all these things. Now, within predefined organization, we are going to start with location, company center region. And there is another entity which is going to come after location, which is called as a reorganization. Now, that is a separate, completely separate concept. But without reorganization, I will not be able to create company center region or any of their hierarchies. The first thing that we are going to create is create location. I said right. That this has got intelligence. Intelligence in the sense that it will detect what the task you have typed as per the keywords that you put. If you see, I'm going to put create location. I'm just typing CRELOC. Right. This is still refreshing. And that's the reason I'm able to connect. Now I've typed in the task. Clicked on. Now this will open a screen in front of me which will tell me create location task. And it will give you two fields which are mandatory. Now here you see it's a location name. And then you have location usage. Because location name. Think that you are creating your own location. Maybe you start from Mumbai. Or maybe any place in the globe. Does not matter. But as this is a practice tenant, Guys, this is a practice tenant in order to identify which location, company, call center, anything I'm going to create here. I'm going to use a code. Now that code is just like identification. Don't use the code which I am using. Use your own code. Now, when I say use your own code, build your own code and keep that common across everything. Because let me show it to you. Let's say I'm creating a location as Mumbai. Now, if I search Mumbai, right, in this tenant, we search it. Now, see, if I go into categories, right. Now here, basically I have to go into organizations. Now when I go into organizations, you see, there are 100 people which is actually related to Mumbai. Now, how will I know which is that actual Mumbai which I have created? That's the reason there is a code. This person has also used mh_Mumbai, a3_Mumbai. What I am going to do is, I am going to choose a location. And I will use a code which is like Workday evening. You know, something like that. _Mumbai. I will type in here beauty7_. And I will put the location Mumbai. What is E? E is for evening. Again, I am saying, this is my code. Don't use the same code. Is there any specific naming convention? Inward, in real time. You don't need to use the code. It will be a real-time location, guys. This is just for your practice. That's the reason I am using this code. In real time, you will create a real location, whether it is Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, San Francisco, Chicago, whatever it is. That will be a real location. Does that make sense? Everybody. Oh, guys, if you are confused, ask me the question. Because I don't want anybody to be confused right now. I am using this code just as an identification. This will help me. Tell me, I have a question. If we use the city name, again, we will get the same thing right. If that city name is used by other people, then what should we do? That's the reason I am asking you to use a code that you can uniquely identify what has been created by you. And then in real time, the same thing will happen with us, right? If we use only city name. In real time, if once a city is created, you will not create again that location. Because if that is created, why would you need to create the location again? Debish, is it just like that? Just like when we create an email ID and when there are many with the same names, it is not accepted. We need to create some another. There is nothing like that. You can create n number of locations, same name. There is no problem like that. But how will I know that this is created by me? Let's say you create Delhi. Now, when you will search Delhi, there will be 100 Delhi there. Now, which is your Delhi? We need to give something, you know. You need to give a unique identifier. Unique identifier. You can identify that this is created by me. Understood. I am using a code DVD. Now, don't use this code. Reason: I will get confused that I have created many locations with this code. Use your own code. Like, what do we suggest? Use your initials of your first name, last name. Put an underscore. Go ahead and create whatever you want to do. But we need to remember that, right? Of course, what we have selected? Location, name. Suppose I have selected Mumbai 40. Then I need to remember that whatever you are creating. I see your name Amanda Pinto. I can just say AP underscore. The name of the location, right? Alok but AB underscore the location name. Or if you want to put a number that is rather, very unique to you. I have put this code in such a way, Workday evening 7. My time underscore Mumbai. This location is created for this. Clear to everybody why I have chose that code. Now you see location usage. By default, you will have certain values here. Now what value you have to choose? It depends upon your requirement. For example, I am creating a location where I can actually hire people. If I have to hire people at that place, I am going to use this option, which says business site. If I'm not using anything, I'm sorry. If I'm not using business site, I may face challenges in hiring people. This is as per the best practices of Workday. You can choose any usage, but again you will have challenges if you are trying to hire somebody. Better choose business site as this is the best practice. Clear to everybody? Am I clear? Now I'm going to click on. Now you see there are certain fields which comes here which will be given to you by your client. If they do not give it to you, don't fill anything by yourself. All these things are not mandatory. If you see, all these things are not mandatory. Now, why is latitude, longitude, altitude asked? That you can map. You can put that location on the map. Location type attribute is superior location. Now, this is just the first location I'm creating. I cannot have a superior location. Type is, if you look into the options, you will get multiple things. Whether it is a headquarter building campus, what exactly is it? It's more like an attribute. Look at the attribute. Is this the first location I am creating? Then I can put it if it is not the first location. All these things will be told to you by your client. Now, if they don't tell it, it's because it's not mandatory. What is mandatory? Why am I creating this location? What is required for me? What was the concept? I said, why do you need a location? To set up the business. We need location to hire the people. Address is important. Address is important. Only location usage is the address. All those things which you said will come later. That's not the right answer. If you go in an interview and you say that, you will say, I said the right thing. But it would not be a right answer. As per Workday terminology, you have to be very specific what you are saying. I need an address. The first and the foremost thing for me is address. When I had a place here, you see, this tenant is by default configured for USA. That's the reason it is taking it USA. I'll put it and I'll change it to India. You have all the countries here. Whatever you want to choose, you can. Now address. Some places you know when you use the address of US. In some tenants, you might see that if you are putting the state and city, the postal address, if you don't put it correctly, it will not allow you to save it, which means there is a validation. For India, it is not there, but you might see that for US, there is a validation. If you choose a location, not every tenant will have it. It will be only to the selected tenants, but you may have this validation here. It will start giving an error. The PIN code or the postal code is not matching with the state. I put an address here. And country address line 1 2 city postal code state. Now you see one more thing which is says primary. Now this is not checked at the moment. Always remember guys, when you are creating location, it will ask you, do you want to keep it as your primary office or primary location? You have to check that. If you don't check it, you will get an error. Right now, I will not check it. I'll show you what kind of error I'm going to get. Always remember, at one location, you can have multiple offices, which means in one city, you can have multiple offices. If you go to Mumbai, I don't know if you have gone there, but if you will see there are multiple offices of SBI, State Bank of India, right? But there will be one headquarter or a regional center or something. It cannot be possible that all the buildings are headquarters. No, it could be only one primary location. But out of that one is the primary office. We also call that as a corporate office. But that main office is your corporate office. All these things you have to keep in mind. And you can have multiple offices and one location. But out of that, only one is primary. Others can be your sales office, your work location. It could be anything. Always remember that. Business side. Now you remember I said, if you have to hire somebody, you need to choose business site. Because when you choose business site, then you will be able to put the time profile. Now, what is this time profile? When you start an organization or a company in a country, every country has their own labor laws. Right? Do you know that every country will have their own labor laws? Now, based on that, you will have to define your working hours. You cannot say that, my company works 24/7, the employee can also work 24/7. Your company may be operating for 24/7, which is absolutely fine. But you cannot ask anybody to work more than 9 hours a day or 10 hours a day. You have seen there is a tweaking in hours these days, right? After work from home, people have started working more, or some would have started working less also. All that things have been taken into consideration. Now in India, there are two ways in which you can work, like 8 hours productive time in a day, 9 hours of total office time. 8 hours should be productive and it could be 5 days in a week. And the other one is 12 hours every day, but 4 days a week. These are the two ways in which you can choose how to work. And as per your company policy, whatever the work hours are adopted, based on that, you will have to set up the time profile. Here, if you see, there are multiple things that you may get here. You may get standard. Always remember you have to look for standard. Now this standard is like 40 hours. This is per week, guys, not monthly or daily. It is per week. 8 into 5. Now, in some countries, like there are multiple European countries like Sweden, there it is 7 hours a day and 5 hours. Sorry, 5 days, 85 hours. And they also calculate the travel time. When you start for work, how much time it takes you to reach to office. And how much time it takes you to go back home. Those are also considered to be in your workday. Just imagine how they used to calculate. This is how they do. Basically, they will put 35 hours in a week, 7 hours into 5 days. That is your productive time. Apart from that, it could be whatever time you are spending. They want you to spend quality time, quality life. They are giving you more work-life balance. Same this there in France also. If you go in Japan, Japan has long working hours. If you see, people of Japan works the most and they are more frustrated. They have very less work-life balance. What I'm trying to say is, as per your country, as per your labor laws, this is set. Now I'm not going to talk about any other country, but just to give you an idea what exactly this time profile is that you can understand. Is this clear to everybody? What is time profile? Then you see local. Local is basically your language. If I just type in English, you will see multiple English. Because English speaking country also has their own. Certain words which they will use. If you see Arabic, in Middle East, you have multiple countries which speak Arabic. But they have then again their local touch as well. See Arabic, Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Lebanon, Qatar, Saudi, Tunisia, UAE, right? Most of the things will be same, but there will be a local touch. But same thing. If you go to English, you got English, Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, India, right? Now I've chosen the location as Mumbai. I will choose English, India. Based on that, your local country will automatically be coming up right. Now it shows enter, but when I save it, it came up right. You see, India has come automatically. Similarly, you have the time zone also. What you need to do, you need to find the exact time zone. Now how you can choose that? You will have to look into this list and all the time zones will be shown to you. Out of that, whatever you are going to follow, you have to use that. Another thing also, I wanted to say that even if your office is working 24/7, guys, you may have seen that people are working in shifts, which means they may work for a client which is in, US, but you are working in India. You may be working as per their time zone. Maybe I'm working in, with my PST customer. I'll have to follow PST time. If I work for UK client, I'll have to follow UK client also. The timings. Based on that, you can select your time zone. But ideally, this is selected as per the company. Right now, I'm going to choose as per the company, which is Indian Standard Time. And then you see, these things are displayed right now in English. But let's say you work in some country where you know English is not the main language or no one in that country knows English. For example, China. They only speak Chinese. You will have hardly people, very few people who knows English there. Same you go to Japan, same condition. You go to Arab countries. There you will have people speaking English, but very few. Others all Arabic. They speak Arabic. You go to Israel. They will speak Hebrew. Right? If you are building any application for them and you want that it should be available in their language. Now what does? Supports multiple language. If you see it says Baje Indonesia. Right. Malaysia, Czech Republic. Dutch, English, Spanish. Right. So now this you see French in Canada, French in France. Then you got Italia. Right. Right. If I just go back, down, you will see this. This is South Korea. I mean, basically Korean. This is Japanese, Chinese. Now, this is Arabic. This is Russian. What I'm trying to say is you will have, this is Turkey. As per your country, you can choose the display language. But I would suggest not to choose anything else apart from English because I don't know anything else. If anything comes as a display, it will be difficult. If you are trying to change it, it will be difficult for others as well. Try not changing it, keeping it English. But I'm just explaining you that Workday supports multiple language. Now, country's default currency will automatically come as per the country. Now, if you want to override it. Now, let's say you are a global company. You operate in USD. Now, what does that mean? It means that I may be working in India, but my clients are all in US. They may be paying me in USD. If I have to do any calculation, let's to show the client. Also, I'll have to use USD only. Whenever this is happening, I can go ahead and override the currency to any other currency also. But right now, I'm not going to do it. Let it be INR for the moment. Then I have got external name or default job posting location. Right now, all these things are not utilized for us. And I'll go ahead and click on. Now I said right. As soon as I'll click on, you think I should get an error, right? Why am I getting this error? Because we haven't filled the position. The space is there. You have not checked the primary location. What did I say? Only one and one address must be marked as primary. Now someone was saying I did not fill. What did I not fill? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please? At the location, default currency, external name. I thought that's why it is not taking to next page. No, you don't remember what I said. I said these are not mandatory. If it was mandatory, there was a red asterisk scan. For the moment, I don't need them. Always remember what I'm saying because I'll ask questions which will confuse you guys. Here, I said that I don't. If I don't mark it as primary, I will get an error. And now you see, I'm getting this error. One and only one address must be marked as primary. Now, even I have not checked one address also. Once I click it, the error is gone. Right. Now, when I click on my address or the location is created, guys. Let's see. Tenet is behaving a little slow. Not sure why. But it is too slow today. Ideally, it should not be that slow. You will also not face this challenge. Maybe there is some kind of issues going on. It says the page you're trying to load is annoying. Please try. That's what I said. There must be some issues. Devashish, if we will mark every location as primary, then how we will differentiate between several locations like in Mumbai if you have taken the example of BI? No, I can't. Again, you did not remember. I have shown you the error message also. What did the error message say? One and only one location should be marked as primary. Primary? What does that mean? I can have only one location as primary location, right? That's what I said. And even if you have multiple offices, only one office is going to be your primary office, which I said could be a corporate office or your headquarters, whatever it is. In one city, you can have only one office as your primary office. But how? Right? I am little confused here. How we will differentiate. This is primary and the other offices will not be primary. It will not mark them primary. It will again show us the error. How we will link that this is from the same company, same organization. Again, I am going to repeat my question for you. Again, repeat the explanation for you. I said you could have multiple offices. One is in Nariman Point, other is in Navi Mumbai. One is in Baikula, other is in Sain. I am just giving you different locations in Mumbai. Now I said you will have one primary office. Now this address is multiple. Out of that, the client will tell me which is going to be my primary office, right? Then only I will mark one that is primary. Rest others will not be primary office. Does that make sense? I have a question. Devashish, whenever this primary, just wait, because let me. Wait. Let me clarify first that it might clear other people doubt as well. Maybe your questions would also be answered. Right now I have got one address and I have marked it as primary. Let's say I am going to add another address. Because you said right. Someone said that. How is it possible? How will I mark others as primary? You cannot mark others as primary. You have only one primary office. That is most important thing. I don't know. What should I put? Thus, new building. City Mumbai. 4 Maharashtra. I am able to save here. When I go ahead and click on, I will be able to save it. Right. I will not get that error because we have already primary address. We have already marked the primary address, right? That to bother you. Do we need to wait for the client to tell what will be the primary location? Of course, you cannot decide it by yourself. You are there to configure. These questions you will have to ask them. They're like, I need to create a location. Now on that location, if there are multiple offices Let's say they have given 5 addresses, that there are 5 different offices, in that same city. Now, out of that which is primary, I cannot put it by myself. The client has to tell me. Does it mean that the primary location is always created first and then the other locations are created? Not necessary. Why not necessary? I'll tell you. I can add multiple addresses at the same time. If I add multiple addresses at the same time, I still have to choose one primary location. It is not necessary that I create it first or create it second. I'm creating all at one time only. Right. But the fact is, if you only have one address, that will be your primary location. There is also a possibility that if I want to change that location, for example, let me show you. Let's say I am editing it again. I hope you are able to see the screen right. I think I clicked the wrong edit location. Give me a minute. Let me cancel that. Let me edit this. So I clicked on the wrong place. Contact information. Alright, now you see, I have this as my primary. Now let's say my business has expanded. Now this building is a small building for me. I feel that I should move to a new building, which I should make that as my headquarters. What I can do, I can mark this as primary. Now, once I have clicked on this as primary, the check mark from here would be gone. You see, it's not primary anymore. I'll now go. I can go ahead and click on. And now, once, let it be, let it load. What do you see as primary? New building size. What's the primary? New building size, and will be the primary. That building, new building, whatever it is, that has become a primary office for me now. Clear to everybody? Is there anybody who has any more confusion questions? I have a question. Can we add multiple addresses here only? You can create n number of offices. There is no problem. But you will have only one primary office. That is what you need to remember. My question was big organizations. We generally see that they have one head office and one separate corporate office. But if both fall under primary, then how will that be distinguished? No, in Workday it is not possible. If you are putting something as I'm sorry, if you are putting as your headquarters separate and your primary office separate, you can do that. There is no problem. But again, whatever is your primary, that has to be marked. You may not treat it as a corporate office. It is up to you. But whatever is your primary location, that has to be marked. And it will. It can only be one. That is how Workday has been designed. You cannot change that. Then the client will decide that which location he wants to mark that site. Of course, one set. But when we created this location and we were actually like concentrating on details, contact information and business site. And when we clicked on details initially and there was no mandatory fields to be selected, second one, we went for contact information. And that is where we were adding the address. I hope I'm right. Let me go back to the location. I'm sorry. I'm not able to understand what you're saying. When we created a new location, initially we had 3 tabs. One said detail, second one was contact information, and third one was business site. You are saying that once the location was created, then you have these options. Under detail, there was no mandatory fields, which means it was not highlighted with the asterisk symbol. It's not highlighted and it's not mandatory. I've not filled anything. Or let it be the same thing. Once we go to contact information, we find like many side headings, like many fields, like phone address. We created only the address part. What about the remaining phone number, email, and instant messages? That's all you can put. Let's see. What I'm trying to tell you is all this information is only required why you need a location to have an address that you can register the company. Right. Always remember what the concept that we discussed. Now the phone number, the website, the messenger, you can always put that. No, my question, if I click on that phone field and it says like there are a few fields which is marked with asterisk symbol and which is mandatory one. If you will add a phone, it has to be entered there. If you add a website, it has to be entered there. If you're adding a messenger, you have to enter that value. Are you getting the point? Whatever you're adding, you need to put that. Otherwise, don't add it. Not required. Thank you, sir. Any other doubts on location? Hi, Divash. Hi, Kansh. I just wanted to ask that usually, the businesses have multiple locations. If they give the data, saying like, take this 500 locations, can we kind of upload them? Because doing this, yes, you can do that. All right. All right. Now you see, there is something what I wanted to specify here. What are you doing? You are doing 500 locations, not addresses, right? Correct. Correct. Each location may have multiple addresses also. That also you have to keep in mind. Right. And you can do bulk upload. There is no problem. That we do in the integration side. All right. My question was that while filling up the details like time, profile, local, and all, you were selecting the options which were already there. But suppose if we have to enter the information which is not there by default, then can we create it? Yes, you can, but not exactly you. It has to be done by Workday. The initial configuration is always done by Workday. And if you want anything to be added, if you have the permissions, you can do it. There is no problem. But generally, it is done by Workday in the initial configuration. It means it is informed to them and then they will update it accordingly. I mean, you can raise a support ticket if their administrative rights are with Workday. They can do it for you. If there is somebody in the organization who has got administrative rights, they can also do it. At any point, we can do it. I will be going ahead. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.